how do I behave as the person I want to become? Or how do I act as if it is already done? Very good question. And this is one of the most common and most likely asked question in all my seminars and all the sessions I've ever get involved with. Many people really ask me, how can I behave as if I have it and yet the evidence shows that it is not there? Yes, we have only two differences. We got theology and science. So the science, you see it by physical eyes. The theology, you believe without seeing it. In fact, faith is the most positive emotion that we have as human being. So believing something doesn't mean that you have to see it. So if you believe when you see it, that's not really faith. Anyway, I just want to explain it on based on how you can be able to start living the way you want, even if the truths, the connection, everything you need for, they are not there yet. This is how it happens. Everything is on a frequency, including the things you want, or that particular person you want to be is on a frequency. Nothing is destroyed and nothing is created. Everything ever was and everything ever will be is right here in this moment. In fact, if something you want doesn't exist, you have the ability to create it. We were given creative faculties that no other form of life has. We got imagination, we have memory, will, perception, intuition, and reason. These faculties that separate us from animal kingdom. That's what made us to be in God's image and God's likeness. And I want you to understand this. I'm not saying that you are God. There's a place I want you to coach. You know, when we are teaching people about who you are a spiritual being, you have an intellect, you live in a physical body, it brings many questions sometimes that people will be asking many questions. Are you trying to say that we are God? No, I'm not saying that we are God. I think I'm clear on that. Now, this is what you do. You create a scene or a small movie of the things you want to do, be, or have, and then you live. You play this movie over and over and over again, because physically you are limited. Five senses are there for you to limit you. They can really limit you to the extent that you seem to be powerless. But if you connect to your higher side personality, you are so powerful. And many people really don't use these powers that we were given. So we found out we are living on a lower, like normal animals. The reason why we are different from animals is these faculties. So that's why we are super higher than them. Otherwise, when you remove an imagination, memory, will, perception, and intuition, and reason, there's no difference. So many people, we really give this power away because maybe, I don't know why, but mostly it is not really understanding them. That's why Solomon said, if you seek anything, seek understanding. This guy was a very wise guy to ever stepped this planet Earth, and on top of that, he was super rich. Now, the things you want or the person you want to be, it is on a frequency much higher than where you are at. So the absence of it is because you are on a lower frequency. So how do we get on the frequency of the things we want? Let me share my story with my mentor Gladys Kimtai. By the way, the third person on the portrait in my library, the third person is Gladys, my personal coach. I remember at this particular time, it's like 3 years ago, I was transitioning from barbering to becoming a coach. So my previous profession, I was a barber, but I was not fulfilled. I was working 24 hours in a day. I was really super busy, and yet it was not fulfilling. In fact, we should work for fulfillment. I can say that I was working for money, but now I work for fulfillment. This means that you need to act as the person you want to be. Now, look at the coaches. How do coaches dress? They look professional. And okay, I'm not saying that the barbers are not professional, but there is a way barbers dress, and there's a way coaches dress. So Gladys told me that number one, you need to leave the old self behind to start embodying the new self you. So then I told her, do you mean that I need to suit and then so for me to go to chef? She told me no, but what I want you is that dress as you could dress if you were already coaching, and then when you go there, talk as a coach, act everything you do reflect where you are going. That's how you'll be able to move from the frequency that you are on to the frequency where the things you want to do, be, or have are. Because physically there's no evidence, but imagination come to your aid to help you create scenes, movies, or creating thought, painting pictures and words that are a matching replica of where you are going or the things you want to do, be, or have. So now I had my goal card. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm a world-class mindset coach, and yet I was going to work as a barber. So two different ways, a coach and a barber. And then the dominating work of my life, or the dominating thought of my mind, was barbering, because that's what I did for 24 hours, and that's what was dominating my mind. So I had to shift that through my imagination, the way I dress, the way I talk. I started doing YouTube videos. I started going to coach. I started going to churches, schools. After 3 weeks, I left my employment because my mind was super aware, and there's nothing on the physical aspect could stop me. Now the only thing I need was to move my body to starting working full-time as a coach. And today it's been 3 years working as a coach, and I've never looked back. That's how it truly happens. So you start doing the things you would do if you would have achieved your goal. You start behaving, dressing, going to the places you would have go if this goal was done. And this way you are moving from low frequency to the higher frequency where your goals are. You can never command power from a low frequency. You can never command abundance from lack, scarcity, and poverty. You have to move there. If yet you don't have money, you move your thoughts. Okay, because thoughts are the currency to buy your future, to buy your goals and your dreams. So all these things happens in your imagination. So this means if you use your imagination very well, you can behave, act, and do the things you do if the goal is already done.